I need to tell you something, and I need you to really hear it, because what I'm about to say, most people don't realize until it's too late. We didn't divorce. There were no papers, no lawyers, no big fight that ended everything. We stayed married for 47 years, but somewhere along the way, we disappeared. It didn't happen all at once. That's the dangerous part. It was slow, quiet, almost invisible, like a house losing warmth, 1 degree at a time, until one day you realize it's cold in the beginning. We were like everyone else, young, hopeful, certain that love was enough. We talked about everything, dreams, plans, the kind of future you believe will last forever, and for a while it felt like it would. But life doesn't break things loudly, it breaks them quietly. Work got busy, stress got heavier, responsibilities started stacking up, bills, kids, expectations. And without even noticing, we stopped choosing each other. Not completely, just a little less every day. We still lived in the same house, ate at the same table, slept in the same bed. But something was changing. Something small, something easy to ignore. Conversations became shorter, less meaningful, more about logistics, less about feelings. How was your day? Fine. That became normal. And you think it's nothing. You think it's just life. But this is where it starts. Because love doesn't disappear in one moment. It fades in the moments you stop paying attention. I remember one night we were sitting in the same room, just a few feet apart, and I realized something. That scared me. We hadn't really talked in weeks. Not truly, not deeply. We were just existing near each other. That's when it hit me. You can be married and still feel alone. But I didn't say anything. Neither did she. And that silence is what cost us everything. Because silence is comfortable. It doesn't start fights. It doesn't force truth. It lets things stay okay, even when they're not. And over time, we built a life around that silence. We stopped sharing thoughts, stopped expressing needs, stopped being vulnerable. Not because we didn't care, but because it felt easier not to try. You tell yourself things like, it's not a big deal, I'll say it later, it's not worth arguing about. But every time you choose silence, you create distance, and distance doesn't stay small, it grows. Years passed, and we became polite, respectful, functional, but no longer connected. We stopped fighting, and at first, that felt like peace. But it wasn't peace, it was indifference. Because when two people stop fighting, sometimes it's not because they're happy, it's because they've stopped caring enough to fix anything. And that's worse. I remember one moment clearly. It should have been nothing. Just a normal evening. She was talking about something. That mattered to her. I don't even remember what it was. But I wasn't listening. Not really. I nodded. Gave short responses, pretended to care, and she noticed. Of course she did. She stopped mid-sentence, looked at me, and just said, "You're not here anymore." I laughed it off. Told her she was overthinking, but she wasn't. Because she wasn't talking about that moment. She was talking about all of them. That was the first time I realized. She felt it too. But even then, we didn't fix it. Because fixing something requires effort. It requires honesty. It requires admitting that something is broken, and we weren't ready for that. So instead, we adjusted. We filled our time with distractions, work, phones, TV. anything that kept us busy enough to not notice the gap between us. And here's the truth nobody tells you. You don't lose love, you replace it with routine, with comfort, with distraction, until one day you wake up next to someone you've known for decades and realize you don't really know them anymore. And worse, they don't know you either. We didn't cheat, we didn't leave, we didn't betray each other. We just stopped showing up emotionally, mentally, fully. And that's how we disappeared, not from the world, but from each other. The hardest part? It didn't feel like a tragedy. It felt normal. And that's what makes it dangerous, because when something breaks loudly, you try to fix it. But when it breaks quietly, you learn to live with it until it becomes your life. Years later, we sat across from each other one night. No anger, no shouting, just tired. And for the first time, we said it out loud. This doesn't feel like a marriage anymore. And the scariest part, we both agreed, not because we hated each other, but because we had lost each other a long time ago. There are two ways relationships end. The first is loud, fights, arguments, walking away. The second is quiet. You stay, you function, you smile in public, but inside you slowly disconnect. And one day you realize you've been alone for years. So ask yourself, are you really there, or are you just physically present, but emotionally gone? Because one day, you won't break up, you won't fight, you'll just look at each other and realize you already disappeared.